Okay, so today we are going to be flying the PMDG 737-800 from Charlotte over to Oklahoma City. If we go and have a look on the map, we can see here we are on the ground in LittleNavMap in Charlotte, and we're going to fly across the US towards Will Rogers World in Oklahoma City. So it's going to be a fairly straightforward flight, hopefully. The weather looks quite good. So we have a quick look at the METAR at Charlotte, and we've got 240 degrees, 7 knots. So we're going to be taking off. Oh, it's going to be borderline, isn't it? We've got 36C chosen by Simbrief, but the wind seems to be swirling, so we'll see if that remains once we get the airplane ready for flight. So I'm going to be going through a functional checklist or functional procedure of my own design to start the airplane up. There's a link in the notes of the video that you can get a copy of it. So let's go and jump inside the airplane. We've got Say Intentions running in the background, so we'll be using air traffic services from Say Intentions along the way as well. So first things first, Shift and 6 takes us overhead. Batteries can go on and covered. Then, okay, what was that noise in the aeroplane? Shift and 3 brings us over to the FMC. And we can go and request ground power. So FS Actions, Ground Services, request ground power. So Shift and 6 takes us back overhead. And then once we've got ground power available, we can pull the ground power switch down. And we go straight onto ground power. Something odd is going on with the airplane. It keeps juddering. Dome light. We're probably not going to need the dome light because it's a nice sunny day. IRS section, we're going to go and rotate to nav on both inertial reference units. And then further down, emergency exit lights can go to armed and covered. Window heat and probe heats. And then down to the FMC. So Shift and 3. We're going to, now, we can either do this with Simbrief or without Simbrief. I think there's some value in doing it without Simbrief to help out the console crowd who may not have access to Simbrief through this route, so I'll program it all by hand. Okay, so we can see we've got set IRS or enter IRS position is appearing at the bottom of here. So if we go menu and go into FMC, this is our main screen where it shows you the database version you're running on, and it says enter IRS position, so clear that out. We go to position initialization. You can see this is where we fill in the set IRS position, but we don't have it yet, so we go next page, and that shows you the GPSs. Pick up the GPS, so by clicking on the soft key next to it, puts it into the scratch pad. Previous page, and then drop it onto set IRS position. Then we fill in our reference airport that we're departing from, so that's going to be KCLT for Charlotte Douglas. KCLT, so type into the scratch pad and then press the soft key next to it to populate. And then go route, and then we can see it's already carried it over in the scratch pad to put it into the origin of our route, and then we can put in the destination, which is KOKC for Will Rogers World in Oklahoma. Okay, we don't fill in company route, we put flight number in, so I'm just going to put in VFA073 for Virtual Flight Online, flight number 73, I just made it up really. The departure runway, we can go and look at our Simbrief flight plan, and we can see we're leaving Charlotte on runway 36C. So 36C, drop that into the runway, and then for routing we can go next page, and we're going to put in everything except the SID and the star. So the route starts at Charlotte. Then we've got, that's the average speed and the flight level. So then you've got the standard instrument departure, and then you've got the first actual waypoint of the route. So BNA. So waypoints on the right, airways on the left. So BNA, it's asking which one. So if we're not entirely sure, one handy way you can do this is if you look in here, we can see there's our route, and there's BNA, look, and it's Nashville. So within the aeroplane, it's the Nashville one, which is right at the top. They're usually in distance order, so it will be the top one will usually be the one that you want. Am I running the update from this morning? No, I'm not yet. So I'll install that later. I'm just doing a flight just to see how it goes. BNA. Then airway J46. J46 takes us to the waypoint Plied, P-L-I-E-D. And then we go direct to Derler, so D-R-L-E-R. So to go direct, you don't put an airway in, you just fill in and it populates it for you. And then we've got the star into Oklahoma City. So that's all of our routing done. So we can activate that route and execute it. We can go and set the departure and the arrival up as well. So if we go departure and we look for the Bob's Y5, and there it is. And how we got a transition? The BNA transition. So it's basically transition means at what point does it join any of the airways. So execute that. Then we can go back to index, go to the arrival into Oklahoma, and we can choose how we get there. So runway 35 right and the mirror 3. So runway 35 right and mirror 3. Okay, execute that. And then we can go and have a quick look through the legs and make sure there's no big discontinuities. You can see there's a vector here. So when we first take off, we'll be navigating ourselves to get to Lachlan. Okay, so I'll show you that when we take off. So we're not going to go immediately to autopilot and expect it to turn for us. We're going to have to get to Lachlan. If I show you that on the map, just to show you what's going on. So here's where we are, and look, that's the official route. We're going to leave, and then we need to get to Lachlan. So it's own navigation basically, or follow vectors from ATC, or if they don't, we'll turn ourselves and just go straight for Lachlan. Okay. So if we go next page, next page, next page, next page, and we've got a discontinuity between Derler and Murrah. So let's go and have a look at that on the route. So it hasn't got this part of the route for whatever reason. So we're just going to straight line it. So we'll remove the discontinuity. We could have put that intermediate waypoint in, but there, or both of them, but there's no real point. Okay, next page, next page. They've got a vector in there, but before we close in, and the reason for that is this. So in these kind of situations, unless we get other guidance from air traffic services, when you come through Halto, you'll continue on this track until you are given other instructions. So it's just about coming through on the appropriate altitude. So as we come through Halto, look, we can see 6,000 feet. So we'll be given instruction as we pass Oklahoma City at 6,000 feet. Okay, so we need to go and set the data up for the airplane. Let's go and look at the flight plan, flight level 320. So we're going to put in 320 as our cruise altitude. We're going to, now we haven't done the fuel yet, so I've got Simbrief in operation, but you could do this yourself anyway. So we're going to go into the EFB and I'm going to request the data from Simbrief. If you don't do it this way, you can populate the fuel through the tablet. If you go to menu and FS actions, and you've got fuel and payload in here. but I'm going to use the tablet to get the accurate fuel and payload for the aeroplane. So let's go into the, I can never remember where this is it weight and balance? Load plane from Simbrief. So watch the numbers, there we go, look. So takeoff weight, 0 fuel weight. Okay, so that's looking okay. I'm just going to go and double check this against my notes that I've got written about this. Interesting. So yeah, so we went and programmed all of that by hand, which means that we don't end up with the accurate fuel in the aeroplane. Because when you load this in from Simbrief, the trick you can do is go into the route page and you can do a flight plan request, and that will fetch the Simbrief route. So you saw me program it by hand. I'll show you the difference. If we do a flight plan request and we can choose the Simbrief route because we've clicked it in the tablet already, and notice it says set payload and set fuel. So let's go through and do this then. So I'm just going to make sure I've got this right. Yeah, click set payload. And it says set payload is set. Set the fuel. Fuel is set. Select the route. So wait for it to say route uplink ready in the scratch pad. And there it goes. And then we can say load. Route uplink loading. Wait for it to say route data uplink. Then we can press the activate and execute. There we go, route data uplink, activate and execute. So that's kind of gone to Simbrief to go and get the fuel levels. If you didn't, you can just go and program them directly into the FMC and it will fill the aeroplane with the amount of fuel you've requested. Okay, so we've got our basic routine. Let's go and have a look, and at the legs it may have introduced some discontinuities again because it's just reprogrammed it. What am we doing? Legs. Previous. Yeah, it's by doing that it's wiped out the SID and the start. So if we just go and put them back in. We're departing 36C Bob's Y5. And it was the BNA transition, execute. And then go to arrivals. So it just reinforces actually that Simbrief doesn't have the SID and the star. So we've ended up doing it both ways for you. So 3-5 right and Murrah 3. So 3-5 right, Murrah 3, and transition. Can we see a... Has it got Durla? Yes, it has. So that's where we had the discontinuity look. If I'd been looking earlier, I would have seen that. Execute. So then if we go through, look through the legs now, we've got the vectors, and we go back through, and you should only see the vector at the end now. There we go, look. So it's all good. So it shows you how easy it is to miss a step as well. Okay, so we go back into InitRefs. We've got flight level 320 through. We can select the 0 fuel weight now, and it will put it in for us. So there we go. And the reserves, so we can go and look on the flight plan and we can see final reserves is 1,000, alternate is, so we want about 2,600, so 2.6 on the reserves. Cost index we're using today is 59, and execute that. And we're done. So that's the route programmed in. So next thing we're doing is, oh, we need to go and do the trim while I think of it. So N1 limit, and then takeoff. So takeoff flaps will be 5. We can confirm this by looking in the calculator. So if we go over to the performance tool, and we can see we've got the takeoff calculations here. So import from the operational flight plan. Is it going to do it? Okay, runway select was 36C. Aircraft, we can import from the aircraft and then import the weather, and then we should be able to calculate, and that will give us all of our numbers. Okay, having done that, so what we're really looking for here was just the flaps level, which is typically 5 degrees. I could have said that before we started, but there we go. So 5 degrees, it will calculate the center of gravity for you, so we can do that, and we can transfer across the v-speeds, which have been calculated for us. And by looking at the trim, 4.94, we can go and make sure this is correct. So we're just going to move the trim to about 4.94, so the airplane's in equilibrium when it gets to the v-speeds. Okay, that's that done. This is probably a good place because we're about to go and do gross flight plan check, which I think is going to be fine anyway. But I was going to have a little look. Yeah, we're going to the mode control panel next, which has got our initial altitude. So we're going to go over to say intentions and talk to clearance. Okay. Clearance, Virtual 073, requesting clearance as filed to Oklahoma. We didn't give them information, did we?
Give me 1 second for that clearance. Virtual 073, clear to Oklahoma City via the Bob Z5 departure, then is filed. Climb and maintain 8,000. Expect flight level 32010 minutes after departure. Departure on 125.35, squawk 4711. And we had to change your departure runway.
There we go, look, the runway has changed. Cleared to Oklahoma City via the Bob Z5 departure, then as filed. Climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Expect flight level 320 minutes after departure. Departure 125.35, squawk 4711. And aware of the runway change 18C. Virtual 073. So we need to go and change our departure runway.
Virtual 073, read back correct. Ground is on 121.8, safe flight, sir.
So let's go and change that runway straight away then. So we're going to go into departures. We're doing Bob Z5, but we're taking
Charlotte
off
clearance,
18C now.
American 3187 requests IFR clearance to LaGuardia.
So look at this, remove takeoff speeds, so we need to go back into init, go to N1,
Charlotte clearance,
takeoff,
American 3187 request IFR clearance to LaGuardia.
We kindly ask you to take your seats.
I am working on that clearance. Stand by.
Interesting that it hasn't given us the calculations. Let's go and have a look at the legs. Departure, 18C, Bob Z. Init refs. Next. Next. Why is it not giving us them? Let's go and have a look on the tablet and let's get it to recalculate them here. 18C. And calculate. And it's done it. So it's 140, 143, 147. I wonder if that's a bug. 140, 143, and 147. Okay, that's that done. Let's just go and have a quick look through. That's all looking fine. Okay. Oh, I wonder, did I not go and reset the... So 18,000, we're in America, so that is correct for the transition altitude. We're not derating the climb. We've got 5 degrees. Okay. Looks good. So we had an altitude to climb to 8,000 feet. We also have a squawk 4711 to go and set up. Okay, 1, it's on transponder mode already. We can put it on auto, to be honest. We're going to put this on, transponder mode here.
Spirit Wings 2002, requesting IFR clearance to New Orleans.
So we're going to go and pre-program LNAV. Is it going to let us?
Good afternoon.
That's interesting. It won't.
4573.
Oh, we need flight directors first, don't we?
Request IFR clearance to Cleveland. Hope is international.
1 second while I grab the paperwork.
We'll go vertical speed of a couple of thousand feet a minute. Just for the initial climb out. And we'll also go VNAV. So it will do both, and you can see that here. So vertical speed and VNAV, LNAV and LNAV. And we'll also do, we'll be using, obviously, as soon as VNAV kicks in, the speed will disappear, but we'll go and set it to an appropriate number anyway. Normally you'd look for your V2 speed, which will be 147, wasn't it? But we can go higher than that, it won't hurt it. And we can press comma to go calibrate the altimeters, which I've just done. So 2991, which is almost standard. Shift 6, we're going to jump overhead, turn the fasten seatbelt signs on now. I'll put them on auto at least. Yaw damper can go to on. Cabin pressure goes to cruise altitude, which is 320. And prepare for engine start. So, aft fuel pump on engine number 1 goes to on or down. APU then can go to start. And you'll see the APU needle go round for the exhaust gas temperature on it. It will shoot up to about 7 and then fall back to about 4.
Southwest 8605.
You can watch it do it. There we go, look, it's
firing
up.
8,000. Expect flight level 35010 minutes after departure. Departure on 125.35, squawk 5135.
So just wait for that to happen.
Right.
Okay, exhaust gas temperature is dropping back down. Usually when it gets to about 4, the bus transfer light will come on for the APU, so we can transfer power generation to the auxiliary power unit. But the more important thing for us is it will give us compressed air to start the engines. Any moment, there it goes. So over to the APU, away from ground now.
Departure on 125.35, squawk 5135.
So we can go and put the anti-collision lights on.
Southwest 8605.
We're going to go shift 3 to come down to the FMC. It's menu, FS actions, ground services, release the ground power from the aircraft. We don't have to flick the switch overhead. Just waiting for them to disconnect it.
Blue Streak 5617 looking to pick up IFR clearance to Pensacola.
Okay, and remove the chocks.
Clearance on request, standby.
American 351,
So, overhead, shift 6, we're going to go and put all of the fuel pumps on.
With information Bravo.
APU bleed goes to on.
Skyhawk, November 172 Delta Bravo, Charlotte clearance cleared out of the Charlotte Class Bravo airspace to Greensboro. Maintain VFR at or below 4500 feet. Departure on 120.05.
Okay, let's go and
Squawk
talk to ground. Ground virtual 073 requesting pushback and engine start. So we've been approved and they want us to face east. So let's go and have a look at where we are. If we go and pull up the diagram of the airport, I want to face this way because we're going for 35 centre, but I'm guessing, yeah, they're going to want us to loop down that way, so tail to the left. We'll see what the simulator does with us actually. So we'll read that back. Pushback and engine start approved. Tail east. Virtual 073. Okay, the other way. Tail to the east. So tail to our right. Okay, so we'll just press Alt and P, which will trigger the truck. We will release the parking brake, so we'll have to hold the tow brakes on and then take our parking brake off. And there it goes. And we'll see what happens. So based on the diagram, we want the tail to go to the right. Is it going to do that for us, or do we just go in a straight line and then we'll swing the airplane around ourselves? It's not going to do anything, is it?
Gentlemen, welcome aboard flight number 201 to Oklahoma City. Our estimated flight time is approximately 1 hour and 50 minutes. Please pay close attention to the upcoming safety demonstration, as it contains...
Okay, so I'm going to stop the pushback there.
Ground.
To fasten your seatbelt,
Southwest 1421.
Parking brake back on.
IFR.
And we're going to go start the engines. So we've got the question in the live stream, which ATC service am I using? This is Say Intentions.
Southwest 1421.
Okay, so APU is running, APU bleed is on, so we should be able to just go and rotate this to ground, set this to the right ignition system, look down here and we'll see the numbers coming up. Doing engine number 2 first.
Southwest 1421.
Southwest 1421, read back, correct.
I think it's 25 you wait for on the Boeings. Then advance the fuel condition or starter lever, and it will come through all on its own. Look, you can see then the exhaust gas temperatures going up, fuel flow is increased, engine is spinning up. We'll go and set the flaps while we're here to 5 degrees. So let's have a look.
Push and start approved. Tail northwest, southwest 8605.
Okay, so the switch has gone back up all on its own for engine start, so we can go for the other engine. You can flick between left and right ignition systems. It's really about wear and tear. It doesn't matter which you use really. You can see it will work on either.
57907, ready to taxi. Piedmont 5797, runway 18 left taxi via blue line, Charlie 12.
So coming up to 25% on N2. Advance the fuel control for engine number 1.
Piedmont 5867, ready to
and there we go, exhaust gas temperature is rising and one's coming up.
5867, runway 18 left taxi via blue line, Charlie 12.
Runway 18 left taxi via blue line.
We should have had...
Piedmont 5867.
Yeah, we got anti-collision on, that's good.
Skipper 3908, ready to taxi.
Okay, so engines are running.
Skipper 3908, runway 18 left taxi via Delta 8.
So once the engines are running, we can bus transfer over to
them. Via Delta 8, Skipper 3908.
So shift and 6 takes us overhead.
98, ready for push.
And we can go bus transfer to the engines, so we're no longer using the APU.
98.
So the APU bleed can go off, and the APU can go off. We can go and turn the taxi light on.
Push and start approved.
We can go and put the hydraulic pumps on.
American 436 ready to taxi.
We can go and turn the packs on.
American 436, runway 18 left taxi via blue line, Charlie 10, Charlie, Charlie 12.
And we've already done the
Runway 18
transponder.
left taxi via blue line, Charlie 10, Charlie, Charlie 12, American 436.
I'm just reading through my own notes, the ones that I've linked in the video. So shift and space. We've done the flaps. We get auto brakes need to go to rejected takeoff, which basically pre-arms the hydraulic cylinders.
Charlie 12, Piedmont 5904.
And we can taxi.
Ground American 1575 taxi.
So let's have a look at our diagram. They're probably going to send us straight down Foxtrot and Echo, aren't they? You would imagine.
Charlie 6, Charlie Romeo.
Was it 180 in the end? We need to reprogram this, don't we? Let's go and have a read of what they told us. Runway change 18C. Yeah, so we'll be going up that way. And so this is wrong. Remove. Select 18C, add to route.
Taxi to the gate. American 2319, taxi to parking via Whiskey 4 Sierra Mike Foxtrot.
So it's still the same diagram look. We're just doing a right turn to get to Laction.
Orange line, American 2319er.
Okay.
Blue Street 50908, runway 18 left taxi via blue line, yellow line, Mike Charlie, Charlie 12.
Runway 18 left taxi via blue line, yellow line, Mike Charlie, Charlie 12, Blue Streak 50908.
Charlotte ground, virtual 073 requesting taxi to runway 18C.
November 53 Bravo, runway 18 left taxi via Delta, Delta 8.
Runway 18 left taxi via Delta, Delta 8, November 53 Bravo.
Virtual 073, runway 18 center taxi via blue line, Echo 17 Echo.
Runway 18 center taxi via blue line, Echo 17 Echo. Virtual 073. Let's go and have a look on the map. We haven't got a blue line. So Echo 17 and then Echo. Blue line, Echo. The blue line will be here. Echo 17 is there, and then Echo. Okay, so we turn immediately left. So let's get the head tracking on so we can see where we're going. Let's go and
Mike Foxtrot, blue line, Southwest 3664.
Release the parking brake.
American 859er ready to taxi.
American 859er, runway 18 center taxi via blue line, Echo 17 Echo.
Runway 18 center taxi via blue line, Echo 17 Echo, American 859er.
Piedmont 60905 ready to taxi. Piedmont 60905, runway 18 center taxi via blue line, Echo 11 Echo. Runway 18 center taxi via blue line, Echo 11 Echo, Piedmont 60905. Blue Street 50908, give way to the American A320.
Giving way to the American A320, Blue Streak 50908.
Ground American 2582, taxi to the gate. American 2582, taxi to parking via Charlie 6, Charlie Golf, blue line, orange line.
Charlie 6, Charlie Golf, blue line, orange line, American 2582. American 2486, request push and start.
See, I don't have an accurate version of this airport, therefore the colours aren't correct on the ground.
Start approved, American 2486.
So we're going through Echo 17, and then we go Echo all the way up to 18C. So we could go and put the en route chart on, couldn't we? That's as good as anything actually, because it shows the route. We can set the heading to the takeoff direction as well.
Shallow ground, southwest 8605. We are ready for taxi.
Southwest 8605, runway 36 right, taxi via Blue Line, Romeo Charlie, Charlie 1.
So there's a question in the live stream comments. How do you take screenshots? Hold the Windows key down and press the print screen button on the keyboard.
Right, taxi via Blue Line, Romeo Charlie, Charlie 1.
And within your profile directory, within the screenshots folder, it will appear. It will also make a camera noise when you do it, and the screen will flash. So hold the Windows key down and then press the print screen button. Print screen is typically above the insert delete cluster in the middle of the keyboard.
Virgin 073, contact tower on 118.1, take care.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Contacting tower 118.1, virtual 073, good day. Tower virtual 073, approaching runway 18C for departure.
Virtual 73, Charlotte Tower, runway 18C. Hold short, Embraer 145 on the runway.
Holding short, 18C, virtual 073. Is there anything else coming in? I can't see anything. Just opened his engines up. Okay, we just wait for clearance.
Charlotte Tower, American 872, established on the RNAV.
We haven't got any fuel in the center tanks, so we don't need them.
American 872, roger.
Let's go and put our lights on, shall we? So strobes are on. Landing lights are on. Whoops, we're creeping forwards. Where did he go?
Virtual 073.
Oh, he's just taken off.
Runway 18C, winds 230 at 7. RNAV LAC-in, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 18C. Copy the weather, virtual 073.
Cleared to land 18 right, American 1790.
Charlotte Tower, American 2255, established on the RNAV Yankee runway 18 left. American 2255, roger.
So we've already done the lights. We did them while we were holding short after the other aircraft had started to move out of our way. Just checking around a few things. So we've got altitude ready to go. Flight directors are on. We'll go and arm the auto throttle now. So as soon as I push the throttles forwards, the auto throttle should kick in.
Contact ground on 121.8.
So we'll find out.
Ground 18, American 400.
American 644, welcome to Charlotte. Contact ground on 121.8.
Just going to pull the throttles back a little bit because I haven't used toga. There's a toga button on the throttles, but I'm just going to pull them back manually below 100%. Okay, we're rolling, waiting for the V-speed to come through on the indicated airspeed and start rotating. And up. Oh, I forgot I disconnected that, didn't I? Okay, so if you remember, we need to turn right.
Charlotte Tower, American 847.
If I show you on the map,
on the
if I've got
ILS
time,
runway 18
yeah,
right.
we need to turn right immediately.
American 847, roger. American 3100, contact ground on 121.8.
Ground, American 3100.
073, contact departure.
Contacting departure, virtual 073. Departure, where's the departure? There it is. Departure, virtual 073, climbing out runway 18C, en route to Oklahoma as filed. There's Latchin directly in front of us.
Virtual 73, Charlotte approach, radar contact. Climb and maintain 8,000 vectors to Latchin, then as filed.
Climb and maintain 8,000 vectors to Latchin, then as filed, virtual 073. Okay, so flaps can come up now. And we can go turn the head tracking off for a moment to do this quickly. Go to the legs page, go direct to Latchin, execute, and go autopilot on.
073, climb and maintain flight level 220.
Climbing flight level 220, virtual 073. That should have gone VNAV already, but we'll do it now. Okay, so it's doing vertical navigation up to 22,000 feet, so it will just follow its profile. I think in this, we'd need to go and put TCAS on now. Now we're away from the ground. I've got to remember where the knob is to do it. It's down here, isn't it? So let's just make sure I've got that right. Yes.
Then it's filed, please.
So VNAV is on, so it should. Yeah, it's going straight for 22,000 because obviously that's what they commanded us to do. So gear is now up. We can release the switch. We're coming up towards 10,000 feet. We're at 250 knots, limited obviously below 10,000 feet. Let's increase the range on the navigation display a little bit. There's an aeroplane out here, look. You can see on TCAS. So coming up to 10,000, landing lights come off. Actually, I used the wrong lights, didn't I? We took off with the runway turn-off lights. There's always something. Oh my word, can't believe I did that. So it's favouring a lower climb rate to get to speed. That's funny, there's always something.
Thank you for your attention.
Okay, so the auto brakes can go back to off. Once we get to target airspeed, you'll see the climb rate increase and the aeroplane will go upstairs in a hurry. So if you watch down here, yeah, look, because it's just reaching its climb profile and then off it goes. So I believe in this one we also get to see the climb profile, which is quite cool. Okay, now we've got a few moments to calm down. We can have a look outside. There's some fancy winglets on this version, aren't they?
Delta Bravo traffic at your 9 o'clock, 4 miles at 500 Cessna 172. Delta Bravo, continue to look for traffic advice when in sight. 2 Delta Bravo,
put the head tracking
at
on.
10 o'clock, 3 miles. At 5,500 feet, Cessna 172.
Ah, so we have got some fuel in the centre tank, so you'd have thought that would have shown up here, but it's fine, we can use it. It will cross-feed automatically. I should have spotted that earlier. If I'd done a proper briefing of what I was putting in the fuel tanks, we would have spotted that. So we're now just following the route. Coming up towards 18,000 feet, which is the transition altitude. So we need to go and switch to standard barometric pressure when we get there.
073, climb and maintain flight level 320.
Climbing flight level 320, virtual 073. So we've basically been given clearance to a higher altitude, which is our cruise altitude for today. There we go. So that shows at the top of the altitude ribbon. We're in lateral navigation and vertical navigation and speed control modes. Everything's looking fine.
Contact Atlanta Center on 132.625.
Go to standard barometric pressure, and it's done it both sides. Contacting Atlanta Center 132.625, virtual 073, good day. Atlanta Center, virtual 073 with you, climbing to flight level 320. Okay, so I can finally look at the live stream chat now properly. Now we've got some time. So yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. This is good fun, isn't it? This messing around with flight simulator slog. So let's go and put that back on arc mode. And we can increase the range out a bit further to 80 miles. So you can see our top of climb being projected out there, but we're going to get there a fair bit earlier, I think. Okay, so we have a comment here. It's too bad I can't use Simbrief or any of these other apps on the PlayStation 5. Yeah, that's the problem of the consoles, I'm afraid. That you can't run the external stuff.
02 Papa, descend and maintain flight level 190.
And the built-in ATC within the simulator isn't great, but it's okay, but it just isn't great. Obviously, things like say intentions allow us to actually talk to ATC, which is a world of difference. And we can have other tricks as well, like I've got the cabin crew in the aeroplane that I can go, and if I wish to, I can ask the co-pilot sat next to me over here. This is Amanda, by the way. I can go and ask her, can she take over radio comms? Hi Amanda, can you take over radio communications, please? So she'll do the handoffs between the sectors.
Sure, I'll take over the radio communications.
We could also talk to the cabin crew on the PA system. Hi cabin crew, can we get some coffee in the flight deck, please?
Understood. I will arrange for coffee to be brought to the flight deck.
So, that having been said, the airplane is flying on LNAV and VNAV now. It's on auto throttle. Amanda's going to deal with radio comms of any sector coverage we need, so we can wander off. Let's go and turn the tablet on the other side. If we go and put the where is it? So if we go into EFB and charts, can we not have an en route chart? Maybe that is the en route chart. So can we make that go full size? There we go. That's better. We'll do the same for Amanda's. Now we can zoom in, or actually we could... No, not lock location. We want it to track the aeroplane location, don't we? There it is. So she gets to see it as well.
3171 descending, maintain 6200, Comanche 1 Golf Zulu.
Comanche 1 Golf Zulu, contact Asheville Tower on 121.1.
Okay, so we are on our way. We're climbing up to 25,000 feet. We'll soon be at cruise altitude. We're on our way to Oklahoma City. We can look up on the system and see how long it might take us to get there. So if we go route data, we can see the ETA at each waypoint. If we go next page, next page, next page, next page. There we go. So 1738. So it's 15:46 at the moment. So about 2 hours. So I'm not going to be present for the whole time. I will probably reappear at top of descent. Obviously I'll be on hand to jump in and I'll keep an eye on the airplane, but for the majority of this route we're just going to let Amanda handle the sector transitions between the different airspaces, which you should be able to see on here. If we zoom out, yeah, there you go, look. So there's one of them there, so you'll get a handoff as you go into the next airspace. You can see them in LittleNavMap as well. So if we zoom out and we put the sectors on, you can see there's the line delimiting this sector from the next. And those are the orange aeroplanes are the ones that Say Intentions is injecting into the simulator. So when you run Say Intentions, it takes over essentially AI aircraft, which is why you can hear them on the radio. So you not only hear the controller talking to them, you hear the pilots talking back. So that's one of the major things that Say Intentions does for you. So if we just put the airplanes back on. So we've got one here, like 34,000 feet. Although it's quite a way away, look, it's 10 miles out, you probably wouldn't be able to see it. You usually have to be alarmingly close to aeroplanes to see them. Sometimes on a sunny day you'll see one go whistling past. There's one up there, look. Going that way. Higher than us. It's going to be probably that one. Dal 1100. It's probably that one that's just the other side of the window there.
Checking in. Frontier 408, Atlanta Center, roger.
Okay, so what I'm going to do while we're on the route is leave this view somewhere like that. I'll get LittleNavMap and I'll open a minimal layout and put that up in the corner of the screen so you can see where we are in terms of the wider route. There we go. So if I stick that up in the corner, if I get rid of the task bar as well, and there we go. So actually let's rotate this round to be slightly that way. That's better, isn't it? So then you can see on the map whereabouts we are. I think I've told this not to follow the aeroplane, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to go make a coffee and I'll be back with you all. Yeah, that's tracking the aeroplane position map. Where is it? Don't follow the aeroplane. Then we can do that. Cool. So then you can see what state we're over. So we're going to go over Tennessee, Arkansas, and then into Oklahoma. Well, that's the alternate down there, so we're obviously going into Oklahoma City. Should be good. Should we go and load the aircraft performance data as well? So at least it's showing accurate numbers on the map, even if we're not going to be following them. So it gives you some idea of the top of descent point. So, should I stick to mastering the small planes first before jumping to the commercial jets? And are there other good beginner planes beside the Cessna 172? Fly everything. Try it all. It's free. If you've got the airplane in the sim, why not? The big jets do require a level of learning way beyond the GAs, but it depends how you fly them. You'll see me typically flying them somewhat correctly, so I'll be following, closely following real-world-ish procedures. Obviously, you've got the professional pilots out there with their own YouTube channels, and they'll show you, how the real guys do it. I'm just an enthusiast at the end of the day who's learnt quite a lot, and I share what I've learnt as I go.
Level 360 to Southwest 1333.
Southwest 1333, climb and maintain flight level 360.
Negative, we are not climbing to flight level 380, we are cruising at flight level 310 today. That is what we have filed in our flight plan. Blue Streak 1769.
Blue Streak 1769, roger, maintain flight level 310.
Just on the subject of learning different aeroplanes, I've done quite a lot. If I just pop open the web browser while we're en route, if we go to johnbeckett.substack.com, I've done quite a lot in terms of beginner's guides for different aeroplanes, so you can see those all in here. Going through all sorts of things that are good things to learn, like there's some, how to start the big airplanes up, how to do radio navigation, how to do G1000 radio navigation, how to program the G1000, stalls and spins, basic airmanship, so this is like standard rate turns, climbing turns, descending turns, all that kind of stuff. Starting the Cessna, but I've done an awful lot of different videos, so if you go and search the YouTube channel or search the blog, and in terms of if you want guides for the airplanes that maybe aren't very well documented, I've got lots of them that I've written up, and they cost about the same amount as a cup of coffee from Starbucks each. So some of them run to 7 or 8 pages, some of them run to 15 or 16 pages, depending on how complex the aeroplane is. But the guides, I can show you them. If anyone who's not seen these, if I go and load one of them up, so if I go to drive.google, I'll show you where they all come from. So in terms of this one we were just looking at today, for example, which was the 737-800 for Flight Sim 2024, what the guides do, they go through some basic stuff about the sim, about how to set up custom views, because sometimes it's really useful. Then they go into what to do to get the airplane ready in terms of what keyboard key to press to go to one of the predefined views, where to look, what to put, what to select, what to press, how to interact with it. It tells you everything to do. So obviously this is a big airliner, and it's showing you step-by-step programming the flight management computer, for example. But then, just what switches to flick, where they are. So it's a good aid memoir so you don't miss things out. In terms of basic airplanes like the 172, we've got there's the Coronado one, here's the Asobo one, with the G1000, that's the one that comes with all versions of the simulator. So same trick, tells you what to do on your external walk around, and then goes through everything you need to do to get the airplane ready for flight. Again, keyboard keys all the way through, where to look, what to flick, what to turn, what to press, how to do an engine run-up test, for example, final takeoff checks, and then some basic notes for getting off the ground. It just helps you do things in a fairly correct manner, So all of the airplanes in the sim, if you press the tab button on the keyboard, and then you go to aircraft, and then you go to checklists, most aeroplanes have got checklists, but not all of them. And also, clicking on something in the checklist, most aeroplanes have got a little icon to take the view to the thing they're talking about. Again, not all of them. So that's where my checklists really come in. And quite often, these are wrong. The better aeroplanes, these tend to be right. But quite often, and without mentioning too many names, Caronado, they will be very, very light on the steps required, or they just won't bear much resemblance to the real world procedure. So you have to fill the gaps in yourself, and obviously if you don't know what you're doing, filling the gaps in is really tough. So that's why the procedures that I've written up, originally for myself, fill all the gaps in. Something a lot of people don't realise as well, there's actually well, let's go do it. If I go in, I'm going to show you the flight planner. So we're going to borrow this flight plan that I did with Simbrief. Now, if you've got the normal version of Flight Simulator in your console, you can do this. You'll need a computer to do it. You go to planner.flightsimulator.com on your computer. You log in as your same identity you're running Flight Simulator as, and then you can come in here and you can put your route in that you've got from Simbrief or that you've figured out yourself. So if we save that, watch what happens on the screen. There's our route today.
Delta 1743, contact Atlanta Center on 127.05.
So we know this is an IFR route. Oh, we'll hear Amanda talk, by the way. Listen. I thought I told Amanda to respond. Oh, they're already doing. I think she's already doing it. Anyway. So if you go to planner.flightsimulator.com, you'll see this route planning tool. This has actually been licensed from Lufthansa Systems, and you'll see that in some of the screens. So the trick being here, once I've got my route in here, I can save it. And we don't have to give it a name, we can just say save the plan and it will call it the departure and destination airports.
Switching to Atlanta Center on 127.05, Delta 1743.
Oh, it was a different aeroplane. Okay, so we've saved our route. The trick being, within the simulator now, if we come back out of this checklist and we go to the flight planner in the tablet, if we then go to route, we can load from the web, and it will have the one that we did on the website, and we can download that into the tablet. There's our route, look, and there's us on the route. With aeroplanes around us. But the real trick here is we can also go into charts. So this has got the Lufthansa charts in it. So we're going to be doing this star look. So it's pinned the charts that make sense for the route. So this is all free, built into the sim. I think a lot of people don't know this is here. So you've got the Lufthansa flight charts.
Descend and maintain 10,000, American 1149.
If you go and look on the bottom corner of them,
descend and maintain 10,000, Brevard altimeter 29er.
It usually says in one of the corners that it's Lufthansa System. Oh, we go look. Lufthansa System charts intended for flight simulation only. But they are basically out of date, the real ones. But you can do that for any of this look. So we can go and look at the airport ground chart, for example, of Oklahoma City. Obviously you can zoom into it. And that all comes with the sim. And a lot of people don't know it's there. So you don't need Navigraph. That's the end, the real story I'm talking about. Navigraph is very, very convenient. But you don't need it because you've got all of this at planner.flightsimulator.com. It's pretty good, isn't it? So if you go into Kneeboard, look, there's the charts here in the browser. So if you've got a laptop alongside you, you can be doing this, and you could say, I want to see that chart please, and it's gone into night mode, which is not super helpful. There we go. So you can go and make sense of your routine. So we're going to be coming down this way, and then vectors, and then back in, unless it changes, of course. So there you go. Planner.flightsimulator.com allows you to go and do route planning just like Navigraph, with putting a route in. And then you can, or you could, like you saw I did, I did it in Simbrief, stole the route from Simbrief, dropped it into here, and that allowed me then to bring it into the airplane. In some of the Asobo developed airplanes, you can go a step further than that, and you can send the route straight to the avionics. So rather than trying to program it in the cockpit, some aeroplanes support sending the route directly in. It tends to only work in the Asobo aeroplanes though. But there you go. So the console users aren't completely without toys to play with. They can have the planner, which is really nice. So yeah, you can use the planner on anything that can run a browser basically. It'll work on a phone probably. Okay, so I'm going to leave the chart up there because it's going to be a couple of hours until we get to Oklahoma, until we get near top of descent. So I'm going to leave this tootling along on its own for a while. Shall I put us in the cockpit so we can at least keep an eye on instruments?
16,200 feet, climbing level flight level 20.
02, Papa Roger.
Expect RNAV into runway 5 right, intercept the Wu Pool initial approach fix. 02 Papa.
02 Papa, descend and maintain flight level 100.
Okay, I'll leave that in the corner. Right, I'm going to go make myself a coffee and I'll be back a bit later on.
Virtual 073, contact Atlanta Center on 125.9025.
Contacting Atlanta Center on 125.9025. Virtual 73. Atlanta Center, Virtual 73. Good afternoon, level flight level 320.
Virtual 73, Atlanta Center, good afternoon.
Atlanta Center, good morning, Southwest 1391, flight level 380.
Southwest 1391, Atlanta Center, good afternoon.
American 153, descend and maintain 14,000.
Maintain 14,000.
American 153.
American 2735 cleared for the Phillip 4 arrival into Charlotte.
Down to flight level 190. Cleared for the Phillip 4 arrival into Charlotte, American 2735.
Morning, Atlantic Center, Blue Air 416. With you, flight level 320, 416.
Blue Air 416, Atlanta Center, good morning.
Southwest 1333, contact Memphis Center on 128.15.
Over to Memphis Center on 128.15, Southwest 1333.
Atlanta Center, Brickyard 4486, flight level 240.
Brickyard 4486, radar contact. Virtual 73, Atlanta Center, contact Memphis Center on 128.15.
Contacting Memphis Center on 128.15. Virtual 73. Memphis Center, Virtual 73. Good morning, level flight level 320.
Virtual 73, Memphis Center, good morning.
Center, good morning, Northwest 1019, cruising at flight level 360.
Northwest 1019, Memphis Center, good morning.
Memphis Center, Southwest 435, flight level 360.
Southwest 435, radar contact.
Memphis Center, Skywest 4048, flight level 370.
Skywest 4048, radar contact.
Skywest 4048, cleared for the Chipper 1 arrival into Atlanta.
Down to flight level 260, cleared for the Chipper 1 arrival into Atlanta, Skywest 4048.
Memphis Center, Southwest 1379, flight level 210.
Southwest 1379, radar contact.
Memphis Center, Delta 2471, flight level 350.
Delta 2471, radar contact.
descending to flight level 190. Cleared for the Chesney 3 arrival into Nashville, Southwest 2209.
Piper 432 Foxtrot Lima, Memphis Center. Traffic at your 2 o'clock, 4 miles. Same altitude type, unknown.
Traffic in sight, 432 Foxtrot Lima.
American 2957, contact Atlanta Center on 132.675.
Switching to Atlanta Center on 132.675, American 2957.
Memphis Center, Allegiant 2650, flight level 370.
Allegiant 2650, radar contact.
Center, Delta 3197. Center, Delta 3197, activate IFR. IFR flight plan to Atlanta.
Give me 1 second for that clearance.
Memphis Center, Southwest 2176, flight level 390.
Southwest 2176, radar contact. Vans 399 Tango, Whiskey, Memphis Center, contact Indianapolis Center on 121.175.
Okay, I've just spotted the fuel warning. The reason for it is because the centre pumps are on and the centre tanks are out of fuel, so we'll go and turn those off, and that's absolutely normal. I've just noticed as well while we were doing that, I saw this before we started earlier, this version of the 737 does have the head-up display, so we'll have a play with that when we're on approach, just to see how it works. I don't typically use them, I find no reason for them, but they're kind of useful. Anyway, I'll be back a bit later.
Virtual 073, contact Memphis Center on 127.975.
Contacting Memphis Center on 127.975. Virtual 73. Memphis Center, Virtual 73. Good morning, level flight level 320.
Virtual 73, Memphis Center, good morning.
Good afternoon, Memphis Center. Duke 65 Alpha Papa, request IFR to Nashville.
I'm working on that clearance. Stand by.
Clear to Nashville, radar vectors lobby. In the south, climb maintain 4,000, expect 13,000. Departure 134.65, squawk 7165, release for departure clearance void if not off by 1648 Zulu. Time now 1633 Zulu for 65 Alpha Papa.
United 1232, contact Memphis Center on 124.275.
Memphis Center, Brickyard 5750, flight level 200.
Brickyard 5750, radar contact.
Memphis Center, United 1659, flight level 300.
United 1659, radar contact.
Memphis Center, Delta 569, flight level 330.
Delta 569, radar contact.
Memphis Center, Frontier Flight 1631, flight level 340.
Frontier Flight 1631, radar contact.
Memphis Center, Delta 662, flight level 330.
Delta 662, radar contact. I'm working on that clearance. Stand by.
Cleared to Memphis, radar vectors natal, Venice file, climb and maintain 9,000, departure 127.975, squawk 6743, release for departure, clearance void if not off by 1857, current time is 1842.
Mike, read back correct. Frontier Flight 1631 cleared for the Bush 3 arrival into St. Louis.
Descending to flight level 230. Cleared for the Bush 3 arrival into St. Louis Frontier Flight 1631.
Memphis Center, Southwest 1313, flight level 360.
Southwest 1313, radar contact. The latest 888, contact Kansas City departure on 127.3.
Kansas City departure on 127.3, flight 888.
Center Dixon 11369. Yes, sir. I'd like to pick up my IFR to Memphis, please. Cessna 1136 Mike, wants to pick up IFR to Memphis. Memphis Center Cessna 1136 Mike, wants to pick up my IFR to Memphis.
I'll grab that clearance. Give me just a minute.
Clear to Memphis, radar vectors Natal, Venice file, climb maintain 7,000, departure 127.975, squawk 1324, release for departure, clearance void if not off by 10:52 Zulu, time now 10:37 Zulu, 36 Mike.
Virtual 073, contact Memphis Center on 132.375.
Switching to Memphis Center on 132.375. Virtual 73. Memphis Center, Virtual 73. Good morning, level flight level 320.
Virtual 73, Memphis Center, good morning. Radar contact, continue level 320.
Memphis Center, Gulfstream 9932 Delta with you at flight level 450.
Gulfstream 9932 Delta, Memphis Center, good morning.
Memphis Center, Delta 2490, flight level 350.
Delta 2490, radar contact.
Memphis Center, good afternoon, United 2460, with you, flight level 370.
United 2460, Memphis Center, good afternoon.
Hi Captain, First Officer, would you like anything to drink or a small snack? By the way, have you heard about the developer who thinks AI jokes are funny? I guess he's still waiting for a punchline to compile. Let me know your orders.
Virtual 7-3, Memphis Center, expect the Mura 3 arrival. Driller transition. Prepare to descend in roughly 20 minutes. Reach out if you want an early start.
Expecting the Mura 3 arrival. Driller transition. We'll prepare to descend in about 20 minutes. We'll advise if we need an early start. Virtual 7-3.
Memphis Center, Duke 1136 Mike, would like to start my descent now, please, into Texarkana. Let's go down to 8,000. 36 Mike, request 8,000.
Duke 36 Mike, descend and maintain 8,000.
Memphis Center, good evening. November 298 Papa Hotel with you, flight level 250.
November 29 Papa Hotel, Memphis Center, good afternoon.
Okay, just checking the volume levels, and we are back in business. Let's go and bring the range down. So we're about 80 miles from top of descent. Let's go and check say intention, see what's been going on. Expecting the Murrah 3 arrival, transition, will prepare to descend in about 20 minutes. So Amanda has been taking care of everything.
1683, flight level 390.
So I guess we need to go and tell Amanda that we can take over now. Hi Amanda, I will take over radio comms now, thank you.
Okay, Jonathan, you're in charge of the radio comms now.
So anybody that's come in while we've been en route and has been busy watching the channel, welcome to my YouTube channel. Happy New Year to all. Hope everybody is well and everybody's had a nice break. See, we're flying the 737-800 from PMDG. We're on our way to Oklahoma City. This is not the updated. I didn't know that PMDG had updated it. They're really good at not emailing anybody. So I didn't check it before I launched the simulator today, and apparently there's been a significant update to the 7.3. So I'll download that a bit later on today. We're just taking a look at the screens to see what's going on. We can go and put the various screens on around the cockpit because this aeroplane supports doing it. We're going to put the progress display on the second FMC on the co-pilot side, which gives you your ETAs. So we're looking at about 5 to 6 arrival at Oklahoma City. So at the moment 17:17, so in about half an hour we should be landing.
American 1701, contact Little Rock approach.
We're whistling along at the moment towards top of descent.
Switching to 119.5 for American.
Shall we accelerate things on slightly? Oh, put that back on norm. I'm going to press Alt R and plus. I've pressed it 3 times. So we're just accelerating our progress towards top of descent. So just coming up to DRLER. So I've just sped us up until we get into the right place, and then we'll start descending. So I just want to accelerate the flight so we're not talking endlessly for hours and hours. There's somebody just ahead of us, look, 2,400 feet below us. They're going a little bit faster than us, probably a 7.4 maybe. Some of the Airbuses are a bit quicker than the 7.3s as well. Okay, so I've just turned the speed back down. Let's go and reduce the range on the navigation display. Top of descent is coming in 20 miles. So let's go and have a look and remind ourselves of what's going on today. So we'll go and close that view of the airport that we took off from. You can see we're hurtling towards the beginning of the standard terminal arrival route. And then we'll come down and hopefully do the 3-5 right approach. So we'll be on vectors to then turn around. Let's go and have a look in LittleNavMap and go and reset the display now. Open window layout to default. All I want to see is go and hover over Will Rogers World. Wind is from 204 knots. Okay, so it's not quite fast enough that they would change the runway, because it takes a lot of effort to change active runway on an airport, so they tend to hang on unless they absolutely have to. Let's turn off the recentering so we get to just leave that on the screen. Okay, so we're coming up to top of descent fairly soon. If we go and have a look at the...
descend via Mura 3 driller transition into Rogers. Altimeter 29907.
There we go. Descending via the Mura 3 DLER transition into Rogers, altimeter 2997, virtual 073.
Forward Razorback approach on
so the Mura 3 tells us we need to descend to between 280, so above 240, between 280 and 190. So we'll head for 20,000 feet. Okay.
Virtual 073, contact Kansas City Center on 127.625.
To be honest, if we use VNAV, we can go straight for our final altitude. So if we look in here, we're looking for 6,000 feet. And VNAV will manage us coming down through the steps. Okay. So notice it's not doing anything yet. We've set 6,000 feet. Contacting Kansas City Center 127.625, virtual 073. Kansas City Center, virtual 073 with you at flight level 320, looking to descend on the Mura 3 star into Rogers. We'll be descending for 6,000 feet in a few moments' time.
Virtual 73, Kansas City Center, good afternoon.
Okay, so VNAV should kick in. We will see when we go through top of descent. You'll see the profile marker appear. It might be quite interesting actually to see this on the profile display. If you watch this and see what it does. There it goes. Just as we went through top of descent, look, it's suddenly diving for the floor. Obviously it's managing speed. So there's the profile. And the cabin crew are talking to the passengers.
Stow your tray tables and fasten your seat belts. Please be advised that the use of lavatories is no longer permitted. Thank you for your cooperation.
Okay, so we can sit and watch the descent happen.
United 11119, I wish to stay at flight level 380.
United 1119, roger, maintain flight level 380.
We're contacting Memphis Center on 126.1, United 1119, goodbye.
Over to Oklahoma City approach, 119.3, Eastern 2475.
So, something of interest I know some people don't know about. So when you are descending on VNAV, this little gauge appears on the navigation display and it says RNP and ANP. So RNP stands for Required Navigation Performance. ANP stands for Actual Navigation Performance. So that's the requirement and that's the actual. That makes sense. So in terms of your descent profile, the little marker shows you where you are in terms of your descent on the you know, whatever the constraints have got lined up for you. So you've got obviously altitude constraints, so you'll see them coming up, look, above 9,000 and so on and so forth. So we're coming down towards Mura. Go and have a look on the flight plan. There's Mura, between 17 and 11,000 feet. We're going to hit it about 15 by the look of it, unless things change. So we need to go and have a look at the weather at Oklahoma City, find out what's going on. So open the airport, go to the weather. We've got the temperature, 12 degrees centigrade. More importantly for us, we've got the altimeter, 30 inches, 30.00. So when we come back off of standard barometric pressure, we're in inches mode, we need 30.00 at the bottom of the altimeter in order to reference our altitude in relation to the ground.
Juliet 6 Hotel, contact Fort Worth Center on 132.45.
Switching to Fort Worth on 132.45, Wizard Juliet 6 Hotel.
Okay, so we're on profile using VNav for our descent. You can see that indicated here. And, sorry, LNav and VNav. Let's have a quick look, see if there's any warning lights anywhere. There shouldn't be because there's no messages here. So we're looking good to go. Keeping an eye on the airspeed as well. If we start to get higher than the targeted speed, then we can always use the spoilers to help the aeroplane. Or if we're falling behind the profile. So you can see the marker there. Between 17 and 11 at Mura. And we're going to come, like I said, we're going to come through at about 15 by the look of it. Maybe 14. So David Thorne in the live stream comments is saying, Happy New Year to you, Jonathan. Thank you for your content. And then he ran out of keyboard letters by the look of it. I do that all the time. Happy New Year to you too, Dave. So we got another question from Sabir. G1000 NXI aircraft, like an equivalent to an ILS but GPS instead of a radio-based navigation. So, okay, this is in combination with his previous question. Could you please do a live stream on an RNAV approach to an IFR flight using VNav with autopilot and then fly an RNAV localizer performance with vertical guidance LPV approach? Preferably with a G1000 NXI aircraft. Like an equivalent to an ILS, but GPS instead of radio-based navigation. Yeah, we could do that. RNAV is, people kind of are scared of RNAV. All RNAV means is area navigation.
007, like to pick up our IFR clearance to Wichita.
And it means basically you look at the chart and you follow the instructions on the chart. So it usually means triangulating via radio beacons to figure out exactly where you are. But then you're flying radials and distances, or flying arcs around beacons at distances. It's usually quite a lot more hands-on. You can see there's our vector there, look, continuing on out. So we'll see what the air traffic services staff tell us when we get down there. And let's go and start bringing our range down then on the navigation display. So we're coming down through Mura. I will do a video at some point soon revisiting the expressway approach into LaGuardia in New York, just because it's so much fun. So the expressway visual approach, runway 31 at LaGuardia, is kind of famous, where you use real world reference points and fly in low over the rooftops in a commercial aircraft. It's great fun. the first time you do it, you kind of stress out about it, but then as you practice and do it in different aeroplanes, it becomes second nature. There's several videos on YouTube of real commercial aircraft doing the LaGuardia runway 31 expressway approach, and it is great fun. And you realise when you watch them how calm and how relaxed the real world pilots are that do it day in, day out. Obviously the wind needs to be the right way to support doing it, but it is really good fun. Okay.
Virtual 73, Kansas City Center, contact Oak City approach on 119.3.
Contacting Oak City approach 119.3, virtual 073, good day. Oak City approach, virtual 073, descending on the, bear with me, descending on the Mura 3 arrival into Oklahoma City.
Virtual 73, OK City approach. Good afternoon, Rogers, altimeter 29907. Expect the ILS runway 17 right approach into Rogers.
Expecting ILS 17 approach into Rogers 073. That's not what we've got. Because there's 17.
Virtual 073, speed 250 knots.
Speed 250 knots 073. So what the first thing we're going to do is bring the heading bug around to the direction we're going. We're going to ask for vectors because they've just changed our route enormously. So we're going heading select, we're going speed mode instead of VNAV to get ourselves down to 250 knots. Auto throttle is on, we're in speed mode now. It's interesting, oh there we go, we're in speed mode now, and we're going to do flight level change to, actually no, let's do altitude hold for a moment, and let's talk to them. Oak City approach, virtual 073 requesting vectors for the runway 17 approach.
Maintain current heading 215 vectors for the ILS runway 17 right approach.
Maintaining current vectors for the 17 approach, virtual 073. What are we doing? We want to get this up to 3000, don't we? I just realised in the middle of all of that we've dropped through the transition altitude. So let's go do that. So they're happy with the direction we're going at the moment. We'll need to get some more instruction from them very soon. And let's do level change and continue descending.
073, descend and maintain 5,000 feet, turn right heading 235.
Turn right 235, descend 5,000 feet, virtual 073.
Switching to Rogers Tower on 119.35, Skywest 9919.
So we're doing a level change to descend fairly rapidly. Let's go and throw the spoilers out to allow us to descend much more quickly. It's just I'm aware of how close we are. So they told us the runway 17 right. So there's 17 left, 17 right is this one. So we want 110.7, 176 degrees on the course. Just setting up the ILS. 176. Whoa.
Virtual 073, proceed direct Roja. Descend and maintain 4,000 feet until established on the localizer cleared for the ILS runway 17 right approach.
Direct Roja, proceed on the runway 17 right approach, 073. So Roja. So we're going to go next. This is the easy way to do this. Let's go and have a look. Next. Runway 35 right. So in here we're going to put in Roja, which would be directly in front of it. Ooh, it doesn't like it. Clear. R-O-H-A-A. There we go. Execute. And then we'll pull Roja back up to the top of legs. Execute, which will go direct.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and then we'll get rid of these.
Our final approach into Oklahoma City. Please turn off all electronic devices and store them until we arrive at the gate. Ensure your tray tables are stored, your seats are in their full upright position, and your seat belts
Okay, so then we can go LNAV, and it will chase the line into Roja. So let's go and pull the navigation display down. And we're wanting to get to 5,000 in a hurry, so we'll go and drop that. Okay, 110.7, we need the radios on. 110.7, 11070. And switch that over. He says, famous last words. It was 110.7. Oh no, 11015. Let me just check that. No, it wasn't. 11070. We want to make that. Oh, I forgot how this works. ILS. Switch it. There we go. And same on the other side. 11070. And switch it over. So the ILS is ready to go. Let's go and change the mode on this display to make it clear up a little bit for us. So down to 7,000. We've got the spoilers out. Let's get the speed down. We're going to have trouble getting down quickly enough, you know. The controller's asking for a lot. So we're crow braking now. We've got the spoilers and the flaps out.
Virtual 073, contact Rogers Tower on 119.35 when established.
Contacting Rogers Tower 119.35 when established, Virtual 073. So, if we go and have a look at Navigraph, we're just making the turn looking towards the centre. So, 35 right, wasn't it? Is that what it's... Oh, 35 right. So, that's... No, not 35, 18 right. Let me get this right. So, remove that. Select, or 17 right, that will do, add to route. Okay. It's saying there's a conflict, but we're going to ignore that because all we want really is the chart.
73, contact departure.
And
departure for American 2273.
3,000 feet we need to get to in a hurry.
SkyWest 9919, contact ground on 121.9er.
SkyWest 9919.
There's no way we're going to do it, look. Okay, let's come off the autopilot. didn't see me do this, kids. Tower, Virtual 073 on approach, runway 17 right.
2500.
Virtual 73, Rogers Tower, runway 17 right, cleared to land. Wind 200 at 4.
So this was a combination of say intentions vectoring us straight in when we were in a position to do so.
Cross runway 31.
So I am currently side-slipping a 737 to cause it to lose altitude in a massive hurry. And we're almost overspeeding the flaps. I'm still side-slipping it. Speed is coming off.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain.
Okay, let's stop side-slipping it. We're on the glide slope.
Too low, terrain. 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 50. 30. 20.
We're going to be long.
10.
And the reversers didn't work. Wonderful. That's a control configuration issue, but we're fine. Nice long runway. Flaps up. Spoilers up. So a little bit of an unconventional approach there. We want the airport, don't we? So we're going to come off at A7 and then start taxiing back.
Virtual 73, Rogers Tower. Welcome to Rogers. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Ready to go.
Contacting ground 121.9er, Virtual 073.
Welcome to Oklahoma
SkyWest
City.
4793, wind 210 at 4, runway 13, cleared for takeoff.
Which showcases
Let's just get clear of the
Cleared for
runway.
takeoff, 13, SkyWest 4793.
Parking brake on.
Remain seated until we reach our final parking position.
We're off the runway, so
And the entire
they can go off.
wish you a pleasant day.
Taxi light can
The
go
local time
on.
here is 11:50 a.m. For those with connections, please note the following. Flight 235 to Dallas, Fort Worth,
Ground Virtual 073, requesting taxi to parking.
Denver, departs at 12:30 p.m. from gate B7.
Virtual 073, taxi to Federal Gate 1 via Alpha 7, Alpha, Golf, hold short of runway 35 left, then Golf, hold short of runway 18. Good day.
November 388, Charlie Delta ready to taxi.
Interesting. Taxi to Federal Gate 1 via Alpha 7, Alpha Golf, hold short runway 35 left, then Golf, hold short runway 18, Virtual 073. So, Federal
Runway
Gate
18,
1.
taxi via Hotel 1, hold short of runway 17 left.
So
Then
Golf.
Echo 6, Echo Golf, hold short of runway 31. Then Golf, hold short of runway 35 left. Then Golf November 388, Charlie Delta.
Alpha and then Golf. Okay, so we go up here until we get to Owo, and we try not to go into the dirt. So very, very unconventional landing. We came in far too fast, but that was due almost to the controllers vectoring us in from an unrealistic location, so we had everything hanging out to try and get in. And we were side slipping, we had spoilers out, we had flaps down, we had gear down, and then we straightened up with 100 feet or so left to go. And we got away with it. It's a nice long runway here though, so it wasn't such an issue. So this is Foxtrot coming up. I'll pretend I know where the gate is that they're talking about, but this is just an AI version of the airport, so it may not be obvious on the ground. Let's have a look. So this is Golf. This is our turn.
American 2450, holding short, 17 right, ready for departure.
American 2450, contact tower on 119.35 for departure clearance.
I am on 119.35.
So we need to hold short here to cross the runway.
Tower American 2450, holding short, 17 right, ready for departure.
So this is runway 31. Ground virtual 073 requesting clearance to cross runway 31. There's somebody directly in front of us in the taxiway. Didn't quite hear that. Okay. Crossing runway 31, then continuing taxi virtual 073. There's somebody coming from the opposite side. Are they going to hold short? Am I going to go into that? They went straight through and didn't hold. Okay.
Ground Skywest 6253,
let's go around
to
them.
the ramp.
Who do they think they are?
Skywest 6253, taxi to parking via Delta, Charlie Lima, Alpha, Charlie Golf, Echo, Echo 6, hold short of runway 17 left, then Hotel 1.
Delta, Charlie Lima, Alpha, Charlie Golf, Echo, Echo 6, hold short of
Do I use any ground
left,
apps like
Hotel 1,
GSX? I've
Skywest
never
6253.
bothered with GSX. I've never even looked at it. So it seems like an extra layer of stuff that would be quite fragile and would be a bit of a time suck with setting things up. But it does look great fun. Some of my friends have got it and I've watched them and we've all laughed at the people getting on and off the aeroplanes. Kind of giving them all backstories and all the rest of it. So we then hold short runway 35 left, then Golf, hold short runway 18. So that's what they're saying is runway 18. So we're going to hold short here. So we're going over here somewhere. And there's another aeroplane coming straight at us. What is going on today? I think that we're going to clobber you with our wing, to be honest. Oh, our wing went over the top of them, actually. Oh, come on then, Mr. Barron. Okay, we're going to go straight past you.
American 376,
Obviously some work needed from Say Intentions on the taxi sequencing because yeah, we can avoid them. Look, the wing is going to pass over their head, but it's still really poor. They shouldn't have been there. Ground, virtual 073, requesting permission to cross runway 17 left. Crossing 17 left, virtual 073. I'm still looking, I don't trust them anymore. Okay, so I believe we're going up here somewhere. Unless I'm horrendously wrong. Maybe in an accurate rendition of the airport, there's a lovely terminal up here. Yeah, you can see there's some parking up here, look. So where do we go? I'm going to go for the bigger park at the far end. This looks too much like GA parking to me.
Give way to the Skywest CRJ7.
Giving way to the Skywest CRJ7, Cessna 70 Victor.
So I'm being asked, am I going to do another flight today? I very much doubt it.
Rogers ground, Kemper 104 at gate 22, requesting pushback.
Going to go and help with dinner as soon as I've switched this off, and then
Catbird 104.
I think we're having a movie night at home this evening.
Pushback and startup approved, tail west, Catbird 104.
Like I said, I don't have an accurate version of this airport, so the parking area we've been sent to isn't marked anywhere. Parking brake on. And we can cheat a little bit. We can go into the FMC, we can go to the menu button and FS Actions, Ground Services, and we can set the chocks, request ground power be connected to the aeroplane. So when it has been connected, we will go overhead, switch over the bus transfer to ground power, and then we can switch the engines off. And then we just run through the aeroplane, switching things off. Okay, so that's that done. So ground power on. And then within the cockpit, we can go and shut the engines down. There we go, engines are dying. So overhead, we can go and turn the yaw dampers off. We can go, if we go shift 7, we can go and turn the inertial navigation system off. Should we go and turn the seatbelt sign off, let the passengers get up, turn off the emergency lights, we can turn off the strobes. I can never remember which of these switches have multiple positions and which don't. Turn taxi lights off, turn the fuel pumps off now the engines are not running, turn the electrical hydraulic pumps
ground,
off.
Request taxi IFR and IFR clearance.
Turn the packs back to off.
Dama Kilo 7 is ready for push and start. Dama Kilo 7 request taxi IFR to runway.
We're more or less there. So we can obviously go in the tablet and go and request various things connected to the aeroplane. So we can say we want to go next page. Do you want the lavatory connected? The maintenance van, the fuel truck? Do we want the stairs? We'll have stairs requested. And we want to deboard really, don't we? Passenger bus requested. So you can see the stairs are coming up to the aircraft. So we should see a bus arrive from somewhere fairly soon. It's a hell of a trip back though, isn't it? They really have sent us out into the boonies. So I wonder if that will automatically open the door for the stairs. Let's see what happens. Whoa, he slammed into the airplane, didn't he? Apparently not. Oh no, give it a chance. Is it going to open automatically? Yes, it is. Very cool. Okay, so we can go overhead and turn the last few bits and bobs off. So we're on ground power at the moment, so if we turn that off, that will turn off the avionics fans, and then in here we can turn the batteries off, and we're cold and dark. Obviously the tablets are still on because they've got their own batteries. I wonder if you hold the button in if it switches the tablet off. Apparently not.
November 72 Bravo Mike, runway 18 taxi via Lima, Alpha, hold short of runway 31, then Golf, hold short of runway 35 left,
cool.
Then Golf.
Right, I'll go and turn this back to the radio check channel. So there we go, we survived. Boeing 737 is on the ground at Oklahoma City. Next time, I'll try and get hold of a decent version of Oklahoma City, because then obviously you can taxi accurately to the place you've been told, and it will make a lot more sense. But yeah, so there we go. There's the PMDG 737-800 again. Apparently there is an update for it. I don't know what the update fixes or changes. I suspect very little. It'll be minor things that people have spotted. But other than that, yeah, great fun. Wonderful aeroplane. See you all again soon. Thank you ever so much if you've been following along. Take care.